Good morning, Miss. I am Clark Baricuatro, BS Ed English 3A. For this video, I'm going to make a review about the poem entitled Africa by David Diop. But before that, allow me to discuss shortly the autobiography or background of David Diop. So he is a revolutionary poet. A revolutionary poem is a kind of writing that deals with the pain and suffering of people under colonization within a period of time. So he was known of his involvement in negritude movement, somewhat revolutionary, that that somehow exposes the injustices made done by the British colonizer towards the Africa. Diop died at the age of 33 in a plane crash. His poem is all about longings, nationalism, and of course, revolutionary. Given the fact that he was born in France, yet he still expressed his deepest desire to spend his childhood days in Africa, the land where his descendants originally comes from. With the story he had heard from his grandmother, he was able to paint an imaginary, vivid picture of what Africa looks like, despite the fact that he was distant away from the land. He longs to spend his childhood days in Africa because he had only been there when he got old or in his late age only. In addition, the poem is all about nationalism, for he expressed the love of his country, which is Africa. He cannot deny the fact that it means so much for him, that the blood in his vein is the same blood that flows in the veins in his fellow African. He is proud African. His heart lies there. Furthermore, the poem is all about revolutionary, as the author himself somehow exposes the injustices made done by the British colonizer, specifically letting the African works under the hot midday sun, which eventually leave a scar on their backs. The colonizer was being hard or mean towards them. In fact, the African was being exploited to gain wealth, not for their benefits, but for the benefit of the colonizer themselves. In connection to our country, which is the Philippines, this is what happened to us in the past. We are colonized for a long period of time, and our freedom was literally stripped away. The white man The white men who came to us seem to have more control, authority towards the resources that's supposed to be ours. There are at least 11 evils that they had done to our country, namely instability of colonial administration, corrupt colonial officials like General Camilo de Pulavieja, the one who permitted the execution of Dr. Jose Rizal, no Philippine representation in Spanish court, human rights denied to Filipinos like freedom of speech, freedom of press, and freedom of association, no quality before the law, maladministration of justice, racial discrimination like skin color, height, nose, or even opportunities, freelocracy or government by friars, forced labor, the compulsory service of Filipino between the age of 18 to 60, hacienda owned by friars, and the Guardia Civil. These evils were mostly were mostly evident during Rizal's time, our national hero. As an effect of this colonization by the British colonizer, aside from those bad things that happened to them, the pain, suffering, the humiliation, enslavement. I would say that the effect enables the current African to be more strong or brave in these present times. This kind of literary piece written by David Diop is somehow their weapon or way of fighting back against the said colonizer by exposing their injustices to the world. And the young Africans today must be obligated to continue fighting what has been started by their great grandfathers. They are once again reminded that their value could conquer whatever tribulation they may be encountering in the future. To wrap up, his poem centers around nationalism and revolutionary, that wherever he goes, he brought with him his African identity. And he also willing to sacrifice his own life through his involvement in negative movement just to attain the one and only word freedom. The poem itself is the evidence that they can actually attain liberty through writings, slowly but surely. It is also a message to everybody that an African man like David Diop possesses and an extraordinary skills that would contribute to a common goods to the entirety of an African race. Thank you. Once again, I'm Clark Paricuatro. Thanks for watching.